Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. This is the first drive in the brand new Toyota Tacoma. What I've got, if you haven't seen the last few videos, this is a 2025 Toyota Tacoma TRD Offroad. It is a 4x4, and it is in the Terra color. Love the color of this truck. I was originally going to go with white. I even had my name on a white truck. And then I discovered that this new color, for the TRD Off-Road anyway, was coming in, and I decided to go ahead and pounce on it, which I did. Fortunately for me, I saw it pretty quick, so I actually put my name on it before the truck was delivered, and it just came in. So, how does this truck differ, and what are my impressions of it on the first drive? Technically, it would be the second drive because I did have to drive it home from the dealer, but honestly, it was a really crappy day, heavy and then misty rain, and it was more of a white knuckle freeway thing because it was hard to see. So anyway, we're driving today. First impressions of the truck. It is similar, but it is not the same. One of the first things that I noticed was the steering wheel. I've been riding around in the Sport with the steering wheel all the way up and the seat all the way up. I discovered in this version, even with the steering wheel all the way up and the seat all the way up, I can't get the steering wheel high enough or angled enough to be equal to what I had in the TRD Sport. So something is a little bit different in the drive line or the steering angle anyway. I mean, I realize it's all drive-by-wire, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to me as to why it would be different, but it is different. Next up, the glove box. You know, in the earlier Tacomas, there was a glove box rattle. They didn't have it tight enough so that it kind of bounced around in there. And some folks had this crazy idea that they did that as a safety precaution. So that if you, I don't know, got in a front-end collision and slid forward, or maybe just getting in and out of the truck and your knees hit the glove box, it would give a little bit. That's crazy. No way they did it for that reason. It just wasn't designed properly. I am happy to say that Toyota seems to have solved the problem, or maybe there never was a problem in the off-road version, but my glove box is nice and tight, and I don't have any rattly noises or any movement from it. I could actually see it moving in the TRD Sport. Next up, and one of the biggest things I noticed right away, was the ride quality or the feel of the truck. It is definitely different. This is the off-road version, and they say it's tuned, the suspension, for off-roading, right? And I believe that to be true. The truck is softer. It definitely has a softer feel than what we had in the Sport. The Sport was stiffer. It's not a bad thing, it's just a different thing. I can't say which one I really like more or less yet. I need more seat time. I've had this truck less than 24 hours now when this video is being made, so I need to have more seat time, but I definitely feel a softer ride, maybe even a squishier ride in this truck than what I had in the Sport. Another thing I've noticed, and I just noticed this today, is on takeoff, there seems to be a little bit of a lag in the way that the throttle responds. A little bit more, and it was very minor in the Sport, than what I had in the Sport. Now, it could be the mode that I'm in right now. I really haven't experimented with the modes. To be honest, I think I might be in eco mode right now. I'm not even sure. I gotta mess with that a little bit. So that could be the reason. I'll let you know in future videos if indeed that was the problem. I did lift this truck. I put a 1.5 inch or so leveling lift on it, which basically means spacers in the front of the truck. It just gets rid of that negative or down pointing of the front end of the truck. Love the way that it looks. I think it's awesome. It enables me to go with a little bit, and I mean a little bit bigger tire, but more importantly, the offset that I want. I did take the wheels and the tires from the other truck. I swapped them out at the dealer and had them put on this truck. They're also 18-inch wheels. The TRD Offroad comes with 17s. In the future, I may change it. Who knows? Maybe I'll go to a 17, get a little bit more sidewall on the tire. Just improves the ride quality, really. But I love the way that it looks. I love the way that it feels. And I really have that same poke, if you will, of the wheel. It's about yay far. I know it's not everybody's thing, but I dig it. I like it. And I'm the one who wrote the check, right? Speaking of check, yeah, there was a bit of a difference. I mean, anytime you drive a truck off the lot, it's not going to be worth what you bought it for. I'm not going to go into specifics because, frankly, it's nobody's business unless they're helping me pay for it. Next up, the hood scoop. It's gone. This is, as I mentioned, a TRD Offroad. There's no scoop in the front. So what does the hood look like? You know, one of the biggest complaints, or one of the complaints that I've heard from a lot of people with the hood on the Tacoma, particularly that have the Sport with the spoiler, was the movement of the hood. Going up and down the road, the hood would kind of bounce around, particularly if you were on a rough road, right? So far, I haven't noticed that at all. The hood seems to be nice and tight, no movement, no bouncing in the hood. And I would attribute that to the design, I guess, of the Sport, the way it's set up, and the metal, of course. The hood on the truck now, I believe, is aluminum, whereas we used to have steel, a much heavier hood than we had. No problem. I also like now that I don't have any obstruction in the front, and I am a fan of this, the hood scoop, by the way. I think I might have said spoiler. I am a fan of the hood scoop. I like the way it looks, particularly on the new Tacoma, but I also value being able to see over the hood. It just helps, I guess, place the truck a little bit better on the road. But more importantly, when you're pulling up against something, I went to the gas station this morning and they always have those steel things right in front of the parking spaces, right? So that you don't drive right into the store. It was hard to see that or judge it with that spoiler, or there I go again, with that hood scoop. I don't have that issue, at least not as badly. It is much easier to place the truck now when it comes to things like that. One other thing I want to mention about the interior, other than the knob down there for the off-road version, or the 4x4, is the big screen. I have the 14-inch screen in this truck now. I love that. It was another one of the things that I wanted in addition to a 4x4, different suspension, different look, when I bought this truck. Had there not been those differences, I wouldn't have gotten one. I'd have felt like I was just swapping out one Tacoma for the same other Tacoma in a different color. But anyway, love the big screen. I highly recommend it. I mean, if you're going to pony up the cash and you have the choice, why not add an additional $845, I believe that's what the cost of the screen is, to the price of the truck. I mean, it's just so much easier to see. It looks crisper and cleaner than what we had before. I really like that as well. We got some people walking in front of me here. I figure I don't want to dent up my new truck, so we'll let them go. I'd have let them go anyway. It's rainy and misty out here. But anyway, that's just my first impressions of the truck, things that I've noticed that are different. I've had a couple of people ask me what I've noticed as far as differences go with this trim level. I love the truck. It's awesome. I did not hate the Sport. It was an awesome truck as well. And overall, the whole new 4th gen design, of course, you know, it was designed from the ground up, right? Pretty much. Is a great truck. It's been fantastic for me so far. No issues. And I wouldn't hesitate, as I already did, to buy it again. Leave a comment. Let me know if you happen to have had or maybe test driven both versions, the TRD Offroad and Sport. Did you notice any differences in them? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.